Welcome in, everyone. This video is part of our Unusual Whales educational series. Today we're going to be looking at the market tide page. We're going to kind of go over how I use it, just kind of some ins and outs of it, how you can kind of customize little different dashboards in there. So we're going to get started here. There are two ways to find the market mat or the market tide. Start up here, you come to your flow data. Can either get it from the obviously top tabs up here. Under market data, it is your first one, the market tide. If you're already working within Unusual Whales, you can always just come over to the side here. It will be your second drop down and it says market tide. If you're new and you're just kind of getting used to everything, can keep that popped out there. I keep it shrunk in just so I can get more screen space. So here we are on our market tide page. We're going to kind of work our way down from the top and go to the bottom. But right away, first thing you want to do is kind of look at your widgets here. These are what you can have added onto the market tide, but you don't want on, so on. These are the set I have. If you're new and you are not in the Unusual Whales Discord to ask questions, they do have a chat that you can throw on here. A lot of the affiliates and people who are really smart with Unusual Whales do hang out in here. It's not as big as a Discord, but good spot to sit and ask questions there, if you're new especially. So again, from our top here, on your right hand top corner here, you can switch the date if you want to look at the market tide from, let's say, December 1st here. Can pop it back there. It'll pull in all that data from the day there, so you can see all the data from that day. So we're going to focus with Friday, though. So you can see how that all kind of changed back here, and sentiment gauge will change and all that as well, too. But top here, you just got some other index information here for Japan, Europe, so on. This spot I do like to kind of keep an eye on here if you want quick access to SPY, QQQ, Dow Jones, IWM. You can just easily click on that, and that will take you to that respective ETFs holdings page or overview page, whatever you want to call it. But that gets you here, then you can get all your other data here. So let's go back here. So again, that's available for SPY, QQQ, DIA, IWM here. So moving down here, we're going to start with the market tide. So just a very quick kind of brief explanation of how this looks right now. So anything above this zero line, your zero line is one of the most important things you got to look at here. Anything above that would be considered ask side. So if you are, so like right now you're seeing the put red lines there, so that is seeing ask side put premium. Anything below this zero is bid side, so these would be bid side calls. Now keep in mind, not everything that is an ask side put and or an ask side call is a buy, and not everything that is a bid side put or a bid side call is a sell. So that is, so you shouldn't just assume this is all just buying premium here. This is tracked, this is the entire market tide though, so it's more reliable because you're getting that entire, any option contract that is coming in is hitting this feed and contributing to that market tide. So there's 4 different little columns you have on here. You can have out of the money call options only, out of the money put options only, all call premium, all put premium. I like to keep both on just so I can kind of get an idea. The all put, all call premiums will include the deepest in the money contract to the furthest out of the money contract, whereas the out of the money lines will only tell you that contracts that are out of the money. And for those that do see me kind of post market tide updates every once in a while, this is where I typically pull my data from up here. This is real-time data. You can see as I kind of scroll back, it changes here. But it'll tell you what the out of the money net put premium is, out of the money call premium, so on there. And your volume down here will tell you you're seeing heavy put volume here, so you're getting massive amount of put volume here. So that you can see this changes through the day as well. And good example here, I do have this posted. This is under my highlights on X. Friday, we did catch a good scalp on here at 9:59. You can go back on X and find that post if you really want. But like how I use this, so 9:59, you can see that market was just kind of crawling up here, and those call premiums were continuing to deteriorate here. And then you've got ask side put premiums still climbing and not really dropping on that little rise there. So this is a really good scalper tool. And if you're new to watching this too, you can replay the market tide, so it can kind of help you train your eyes a little bit more. So it does only replay the all premiums right now. So this is just kind of how it looks here. So you just kind of see it, and it's in real time through the day. The replay is obviously a lot quicker here. It's not going to be a 7-hour replay here. You're not going to want to sit for 7 hours, but it just shows you kind of how that market tide was moving throughout the day there. And like you can just see how that the call premiums aren't really moving up on those spikes there, so you're not really seeing a lot of call participation essentially. But that's kind of how the replay looks there. Let me turn out of the money back on. So that's kind of your little market tide there. Really great tool. And if you do want to create an alert for anything, if there's a crossover for the net call premium, net put premium, daily high low, other little data in here that you want, you can also do that. So moving on here, we're now onto the top tickers by net premium here. So really, the top one's going to give us a really good example here. So when you're looking at your net premiums here, you're seeing 24,933,258 here in net premiums. This is your total net premiums here. So you can see your net call premium at 24,932,784, and then put premium is $474. So that will get you your difference here. So your net premium here is essentially the difference between that. So the 24,932,000 plus that 474 there gets you the 24,933,000. So that's your combination of these two premiums. So essentially how I'm kind of looking at this area, I'm trying to find the large divergences in these. So this right away, I usually keep it filtered with the highest net premium so you can easily see it. Like LDOS here, this is going to be really interesting because right away you can see there's not a lot of put premium, tons of net call premium. You can easily just click on that name. It will bring you to their net premium page. I usually look at it from the overview. So like, okay, right away you can see, okay, we have barely any put premium, nothing put participation, anything. Massive spike in that net call premium brings you down here. You can look at your highest volume contracts. You can look at the highest open interest contracts. You can also pop this back 14 days if you want to kind of look at the previous net premiums there as well. You can go up to 30 days. So like this is something that might catch my eye. Hey, there's a massive spike in this name. Something to keep an eye on here. So let's go back to the market tide page. And you can also do this with the actual market tide as well too. You can go back up to 30 days out. Obviously you're going to get a lot of data there in a little scrunched area. But if you take off that top tickers by net premiums here, if you took off all these, it would widen out a little bit more. I don't want to take them all off and add them back in again, especially in the middle of a video, but 30 days is your max here, and you can get a really good month view. I do kind of prefer keeping a little maybe shorter term view here, so 14 days you still get a really good overview of that market tide there. So back to the daily, I do hang out on the daily all day. And these boxes, when you see this arrow here, you can click here and it will bring you to another full data list. Again, a fully filterable list you can kind of keep an eye on here. So all of these, if you want to filter by stocks, ETFs, indexes, whatever you want here, and this will be your top net premiums on the day. And you can, it's just 100% totally filterable there. I don't have a really good explanation of the full data page. I mean, you have all your data in here. You can filter it how you want, filter it by your bullish, bearish premiums. I mean, there's just tons of different ways in here you can filter it to your liking. So filters will be another episode. I do have a couple videos on filtering, but now this also does kind of help. I do keep an eye on the net call premium, net put premium. So like right away, I'm just scrolling down. Okay, well, I see TTD here. So you're getting negative net call premium and negative net put premium. So you easily get that view here. You pop this over, and let's pop this back to the 1 day. Okay, maybe nothing actionable here because you're seeing bid side calls and bid side puts. That chart makes it really easy to kind of stand out there too. And again, you can filter that chart down to whatever you want. You can pop your results out, and there is a ton of data in here. So for those that don't want to kind of sit and stare at the numbers all day, when you pop this over, you got the top net impact chart. So this chart, again, is going to tell you what's contributing to that market tide. Like today, Friday, like you look at NVIDIA, Avgo. Okay, well, they're your kind of two bigger names that are contributing to that market tide there. So that is kind of a good visual there to watch there. Like, okay, well, you're not getting a lot of call premium. Now, like, let's say the call premium was all ask side right now, and you just noticed it was LDOS contributing to that. Well, maybe it's a weaker run up that way. It does help you kind of get a quick visual idea of the breadth of the names there. So I do typically leave it on that top net impact. I do look at the top tickers by net premium at the end of the day. But again, if you want to filter that data, click that little arrow and it will let you view that full list. So moving on down now, market sentiment gauge, pretty self-explanatory. Market sentiment is a fear greed index there. So all the way down here, extreme fear, all the way up here, extreme greed. You got little categories in here, so like volatility, you got market data, market momentum, all that in here. And this changes throughout the day as well. I do pay attention down here. I do like to keep an eye on the market breadth. Really important to know how many names are actually pushing up the market and or down the market. And you just got some other different tools in here that you can kind of keep an eye on there. So next page here, sector flow. Again, one you can pop over here if you want a bigger view here. So we're going to pop back to this one though, but you get a quick glance here of the S&P 500. SPY if you want to click in and see what the names of the holdings are doing here. Bring it in here, you can take a peek there. If you want to drill down by each little holding essentially, so XLU, you want to look at utilities, kind of see what's going on in there. You want to look at tech, come down here, see what NVIDIA is doing, Broadcom's doing. Like, okay, well, Broadcom's your one that's essentially bringing the index down here today. So really easy way to get a view of kind of who's impacting what part of the S&P 500 there. And again, if you want to drill down here and get a little more data, that arrow bring you here. You can look at your volume to the 30-day average. Also brings you back down into this area where you can filter it by the different sectors as well here. So you want to look at consumer defensive net premiums. Here you go. Here's your top consumer defensive tickers by net premium. You want to compare some symbols down here, you can do that as well. So that's kind of my sector flow where I'll keep an eye on that throughout the day. Latest news here, pretty self-explanatory. It's just a news feed. Any important news comes up there. Again, you can pop that over here. You'll see the blubber, another news feed there, featured news here. Market seasonality. Probably only look at this every month or so. I look at it usually at the beginning of the month. This will tell you your average return for SPY and then the different little sectors in here. Median return and your green closes, the percent of green closes during that month. ETF in and outflow, again, self-explanatory here. You got all your different ETFs here. And you can come back here. It's going to tell you your 1-day flow, your 1-year flow, change, and you can just pop that open. Again, you're looking at SPY here. It's going to give you some data on SPY. You can have show you the implied move that only works on a month out plus. So just kind of looking at there, it'll show you the heat map there as well. You can switch that date range if you want to look at the last month, you want to look at the last week, today, yesterday, so on. You scroll down, you get a lot more data as well in here. You got your top 10 holdings by weight, your trust, your sector weight here, and then you got the SPY buyers and sellers here. So it's going to kind of give you a little breakdown here at the top here, your days of inflow, days of outflow. You can get a good visual here as well too. It's really nice, really great tool to kind of look at. Different holdings, different heat maps, all within just by clicking that arrow from that main overview page there. And down here I do have top gainers, top losers, unusual volume, most active, post-market gainers and losers. This will switch to pre-market gainers and losers in the morning, so just keep that in mind. You don't need to have another 2 there, but again, easily any of these 6 here that you see, you should just come over. Like, let's say we want to look at unusual volume on the day. Okay, we want to look at unusual volume. It's going to pull you in all that data here. Let's say we wanted to look at any of the bullish premium over 80%. So you just easily pop that in there, and it will show you all that bullish premium that's at least 80% bullish premium. So again, tons of different ways to filter that to get this information, and this is probably one of the most important pages I like to follow. Understanding that market tide and following it can really help you get sentiment of the market. It's a really great tool for scalpers, and I always tell people this too. If you're new to unusual whales, there is a lot of data here. It can seem a little overwhelming at first, but you don't need all the data in the platform. You just have to find the data that fits right for you. And if you do want all that data, it is available there for you too. So it's just comes down to a lot of filtering and kind of understanding the main big pieces of the platform. But like the market tide page, one of the most important pages there. And if you are interested in trying unusual whale, I do have a 10% off discount code that you can use on your subscription. You get access to this dashboard plus many of the other dashboards. And again, you can add in here widgets, fix it up however you like. This is how I have it. But that is all I have for this educational video. This was video 2 of our educational series. We will be back with another video probably next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.